Sunny Boy is some weird ass shit, and I like it when things get a little weird. The story takes place within an alternate dimension where the world has been engulfed in black. No matter where you look, an endless void lies ahead. Inside this world there exists a school, and inside the school there are students. These guys have no clue what's going on, and neither do we, the viewers. All that's known is prior to this, everyone was vibing in a world much like ours. There were blue skies, grassy fields, and of course a place to call home. But where the students are now isn't that. You see, as if on random chance, they were transported from their world to this one, with the only remnants of their former lives in the form of the school they all came from. And it's now a question of what do we do and how do we get back? But the mystery doesn't end there. Apparently, ever since entering this strange world, certain students have been able to use superpowers. And of course, with that comes an inherent power imbalance between those gifted and those not. So naturally, the student council set up rules for the students to abide by as a means to instill order, which immediately backfires because no one wants to be told what to do. And when backlash happens, chaos is just around the corner. Now, what's our main character doing while all of this is going down? Absolutely nothing. He's doing jack shit. His name is Nagara and he's accompanied by Nozomi. The two are complete opposites, but that's actually where the charm of the relationship comes from. Nagara is that weird kid in school. He's introverted, reserved, bitchless, whereas Nozomi is eccentric, free-spirited, and outgoing. It's an interesting dynamic with one grounding the story and the other raising it. There's this clash between taking that step forward and remaining complacent. In Nagara's case, he starts off unwilling to really do anything, but slowly learns to take agency by just spending time with Nozomi. Her carefree and YOLO type personality inspires him, and he decides to take that leap of faith alongside her. I'm being vague here cause spoilers, but in general, what makes Sunny Boy so alluring, at least for me, is 1, Sunny Boy is a trip fest of an anime, and 2, it has this surrealistic atmosphere that's really gripping. And part of that comes from the show's presentation. Whether it be its art style or its sound design, it's done in a way that, although minimal and simplistic, is very effective. And so, as you watch these kids try to problem solve given their strange and bizarre circumstances, there is no music to tell you how you're supposed to feel. Just silence. Which actually plays into the show's strengths because in this void-filled world, void of music, you get to see everything play out in a completely unfiltered form, allowing you to focus in on the characters and feel that exact sense of stillness that they're feeling. But when the blue skies are once again within eye's reach, the music wells up and takes the centerpiece role of the entire scene. Chills are felt, this guy is doing some gay shit, and you're still confused as to what the fuck is going on, but nonetheless intrigued to see where this story goes. It's an otherworldly feeling of bliss and fascination. Now, again, this anime is trippy as fuck. I feel like whoever made this was like, yo, Tripfest the anime might just be the move. And then we got Sunny Boy. But it's really cool because every episode you're introduced to odd and wacky plot points that actually serve to world build and expand upon previously established ideas. More and more revelations are made, and little by little, you get closer to unraveling the truth behind this world of mystery. Sometimes things feel nonsensical or even pointless, but usually they lead to some sort of payoff in the end. Usually. There's this one episode where they talk about monkeys the entire runtime, and that just didn't work for me. But everything else was pretty solid. The animation is also pretty good, there's this level of fluidity to the movement, and I think the simple art style helps to give Sunny Boy a very distinct feel when watching. Thematically though, although I'm not 100% sure what its message is, whether it be freedom, escapism, personal growth, etc., the ideas are definitely there, and seeing them be explored is interesting. You see, behind the surface level bizarreness of Sunny Boy, which by itself is super compelling because you're just there trying to wrap your head around all the crazy shit that happens, Sunny Boy also seems to be a character study on human nature. Take for example the whole idea of certain students being gifted while others are not. Under that premise, how will people react? Will those gifted try to help for the betterment of the community, or will they use their powers selfishly for themselves? What about on the opposite end? Will those not gifted scorn the gifted, or will they bend over and get a little naughty? Anyways, there's this one character named Asakaze, and he's kind of treated like a god. Basically, he got some OP powers, and over time, people ended up respecting / looking up to him. But what I find interesting about this is it goes to show how, when put under dire circumstances, people will naturally gravitate to whoever has the most power or authority, even if that person is not the most qualified. This idea is especially conveyed during the halfway point, as you see the majority throw away all sense of rationality and thought for the sake of disillusioned comfort and security. Essentially, they all follow a mob-like mentality because by sticking with the mob, they feel safe. And even though there are contradictions and straight up wrong ideas in their group logic, they ignore all fallacies and instead follow the person they deem correct. Of course, that's not the only idea this anime tackles. There's also other fascinating themes that are played upon, like society versus the individual or security versus freedom. Now, if you're someone who's not into slower paced character dramas, then Sunny Boy probably isn't for you. But if you want a show that actually makes you want to pay attention and doesn't treat you like an idiot, all the while building upon itself, whether it be through characterization or world building, then you need to watch Sunny Boy. Or maybe you don't. It might be boring. I don't really know. Subscribe, comment, and I might personally give you a belly rub. Peace.